Hey, Nick Digilio here. So listen, this past week or so, a little bit over a week, this video started to make the rounds on the internet from a music festival, and this band called Brass Against, which is a cover band, like a punk cover band that nobody's ever really heard of until this past week. And they do cover songs. They've opened for Tool, I guess, and they were doing a cover version of a song by Rage Against the Machine, actually from the Matrix soundtrack called "Wake Up." And they were doing this cover, and the lead singer, woman, this female lead singer, actually brought up a fan on stage, pulled her pants down, and pissed all over his face. Like, this is real. I'm not making this up. Guy came out from the audience, and she peed on his face, all over his face, and the man basically enjoyed it. She has the unfortunate last name of Eurista, Sophia Eurista. So the lead singer of Brass Against, which is a band that nobody ever heard of until last week, brings a guy up on stage and pisses on him, and the internet went nuts. The news places went nuts. The band issued an apology. Then she issued an apology. And I just kept thinking, that's amateur stuff. Bringing somebody up and peeing on them, that's amateur. And it brings to mind this legendary punk rock guy named GG Allin, who I'm sure you've probably heard of. GG Allin was a punk rock guy who was a lunatic. If you don't know who he is, there's a documentary called Hated, which is about GG Allin, and unfortunately it's directed by Todd Phillips, and that's actually a good movie, but he would go on to make some of the worst fucking movies ever made, including all three Hangovers and Joker, which is one of the worst movies ever made. But anyway, this documentary is really good, and it's about the insane GG Allin, this lunatic who was the frontman for a couple of punk bands, and would do insane stuff on stage. Like, this guy was nuts. He would go on stage and cut himself. He would break bottles over his head. He would cut himself up, razor blades and knives. He would destroy the venues that they were at. He would piss all over the front row of the crowd. This was, nothing. He would drink his own piss on stage, and he would actually take a crap on stage. He would defecate on stage and then take the shit and throw it into the audience. He would do vile stuff, vomit all over the front row. If you went to a GG Allin show, the suggestion was to always stand or sit as far away from the stage as possible so that any kind of bodily fluids would not end up in your hair or your mouth or your face. He would crap on people. He would throw it all over the place, urinate on it. Every possible disgusting bodily function that this guy could do, he did, and would do it with and at the audience. He was a lunatic. He was on many radio talk shows, including Brandmeier would have him on every once in a while, and he would talk about how he was going to kill himself on stage. This was his big thing. He was going to make a big deal out of it. Everybody was going to be there. I think he was going to do it on Halloween night. I can't remember the venue. I think he was going to do it in Chicago. If not, Chicago would have been in New York. And anyway, he was going to kill himself on stage. He never did. He ended up dying at he was young. I think he was in his 30s. When he died. I believe he OD'd, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, he was a lunatic. So this Sophia Eurista, I still can't get over the last name. Eurista, she peed on a guy's face. By the way, if you haven't seen the video, it's out there. Just look up Brass Against. That's the name of the band. And you can watch her piss on a guy's face and watch the guy enjoy it. And it's a pretty impressive urine stream, too. That's what the most incredible thing about it. I was watching, I'm like, man, she really had to go. She wasn't lying, because before she brought the guy up on stage, she's like, I gotta piss, and I'm gonna urinate on someone's face. I don't want to stop the show. I don't want to stop the song, so I'm just gonna urinate on someone. I'm gonna bring somebody up here and I'm gonna pee on him. She warned everybody, and then, right towards the end of the song, brings the guy up, pees all over him. Hey, she had to go, and clearly she had to go. Whoa. Anyway, back to GG Allin. There are many crazy GG Allin stories. Everybody's got one. Anybody who's ever seen the lunatic has a GG Allin story. I saw him one time. I went to Medusa's to see him, the old punk new wave juice bar in Chicago, like on Sheffield. and I saw him play there. I stood near the back. He didn't really do anything insane that night. He was bleeding for some reason. I don't know how he was bleeding. I watched about 5-10 minutes of the show, and I was like, yeah, this guy's a jagoff. I'm leaving, so I left. But the stories are just legendary. So my favorite GG Allin story, I thought because of Miss Eurista and her peeing incident, I would share my favorite GG Allin story of all time. Took place right here in this city. He was scheduled to play Lounge Acts, which was a fantastic rock sort of punk club on Lincoln Avenue, which is now Lincoln Hall, located across the street from the Biograph Theater on Lincoln Avenue near Fullerton. Legendary place, Lounge Acts. Lots of great bands played there. Very small, tight, crazy club. Great place. Lounge Acts was one of the best venues in Chicago, especially to see rock bands, and especially to see punk and rock bands, big rock bands before they were big, would play Lounge Acts. Great place. Anyway, he was scheduled to play. He played Lounge Acts with his band several times. And everybody who worked at Lounge Acts knew what an asshole GG Allin was, what a pain in the neck he was to work with. So they're there. Now, if you've ever worked with sound guys at venues, in concerts, at clubs, bars, whatever, sound guys will not take any shit. They have no patience. They're sound guys. And what they care about is the sound. They care about getting it right. They care about they don't want to deal with anything other than the mix, the sound, getting the sound check ready, making sure the sound is okay for the show. That's their entire focus. Sound guys are notorious for that. They don't give a shit who it is. They don't care how big a name you are that's on the stage. They don't care about who your crew is. All of that. They just get on stage, do your thing. I will do the sound. Leave me alone. Don't touch anything. Don't say anything. Don't get cross with me. Don't argue with me. I'm the sound guy. Fuck you. I'm the sound guy. That's the sound. Sound guys are awesome. I love sound guys. They just don't put up with any shit. So I don't know. I can't remember who the sound guy was at this particular day. So they're supposed to do a sound check with GG Allin on this day at Lounge Acts. Sound guy's there, checking his watch, like as sound guys do. Like, where is this guy? Why isn't this asshole here? We got a sound check here. Why isn't he here? Some of the members of the band are there. And this is like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon or evening. Clearly nobody's in the bar yet. They're setting stuff up. They're, wiping down the bar. There's probably a few, employees there getting everything ready to go. And here's the sound guy, hours before the gig, getting ready. And GG Allin is nowhere to be found. So the sound guy's getting pissed. He's getting more angry about it. And finally, GG Allin shows him. This is before cell phones, when you can call somebody and go, hey, where are you? Get your ass here. We're supposed to be doing a sound check. So GG Allin shows up loaded. He's completely shit-faced, like as he tended to do. More than just booze, whatever, drugs, whatever. He was basically annihilated. Shows up shirtless, all fucked up. Sound guy has no patience for it. He's like, just get on stage. Let's do the sound check. So GG Allin gets up on stage. They start doing the sound check. They start playing a song. And GG Allin, being GG Allin, jumps up on top. He's got the microphone. He jumps up on top of one of the speakers. Starts like screaming. And the sound guy is like, look, dude, just let's do a simple sound check. Okay? Let's just do this. And, the other employees who are there like mopping up or whatever are just like, this GG Allin, he's such a jag-off. So, anyway... So they continue to do this. Finally, GG Allin sees a stack of pint glasses that are stacked up near the stage. So he decides he's going to smash all the glasses during the sound check. So he takes all the glasses and he smashes them all over the floor right in front of the stage. So there's shards of glass, broken pint glass everywhere, all over in front of the stage. And the sound guy's like, such a jag-off. The other employees are like, oh Christ, more to clean up. So there's shards, broken glass everywhere in front of the stage. And he jumps up on top of, again, the speaker, and he takes the microphone that he's singing into for the sound check, or screaming into, takes the microphone, pulls his pants down completely off, actually takes his pants completely off, so now he's naked, pulls his pants down and takes the microphone and sticks it up his ass. Jams the microphone all the way up his ass. Then he jumps off the top of the speaker and lands on top of the broken glass in front of the stage. So now he's Boom! He lands on top of the broom. The shards of glass are all over the place. He's rolling around in it, naked, with a microphone sticking out of his ass. And now he's bleeding everywhere, and he's just kind of laying there bleeding. And people are like, holy shit, should we call, the emergency room? Should we call an ambulance? This guy's bleeding all over the place. There's glass stuck in him everywhere. And he's just rolling. He's laying there bleeding all over the place. Sound guy jumps out of the booth, runs down, walks up to him, does not care that he's laying there, blood all over the place, bleeding everywhere, just walks up to him, bends over, points at him, and says, "You just bought that fucking microphone." That's a sound guy. So that's my favorite GG Allin story, okay? I mean, the sound guy couldn't care less if this guy was bleeding all over the place. He fucked up his microphone. He stuck his microphone up his ass. You just bought that fucking microphone. So the legend has it that after that incident, they cleaned up the room, he left, he came back later and did the show, whatever. He probably crapped in his pants and threw it on everybody, crapped all over the place and threw it on everybody, whatever. But the legend is that microphone that GG Allin stuck up his ass was saved by that sound man. It was called the GG Allin microphone. And they saved it. They put it in a container, like a flight case container. And they just put it into a special spot in the club. And this is the thing about the GG Allin microphone. Rumor has it that as years went by, any time a lead singer or a singer in a band was an asshole to the sound guys, anytime somebody was a prima donna, anytime somebody was being a real pain in the ass, they switched it out, and they got the GG Allin microphone. True story. So, if you ever played lounge acts, maybe 30 years ago, or a little bit more, maybe even after that, and you were ever a dick to the sound guy, if you were ever an asshole to the sound guy at lounge acts, there's a real good chance that you sang into and kissed and touched the GG Allin microphone. So the lesson here is always be nice to your sound guy, because otherwise you get the GG Allin microphone. So anyway, that's one of my favorite GG Allin stories. Actually, it's one of my favorite music rock club stories in Chicago history. And if you want to see this, Sophia Urista is her name. If you want to see her pee all over some guy from the audience, it's out there if you choose to see it. But she's just a poser, man. GG Allin was the real thing. And I don't know where the GG Allin microphone is. Wonder where it is. That should be something that we all need to investigate. We should get Pam Zeckman on that. See if she can find the GG Allin microphone. So anyway, have a lovely day.